Hello and welcome back. Here we have a very good race. A very good video, and it means a lot to me. Not necessarily, it's not for anything. It's a community race. It's the fresh start race. So this is the triple twist route. Fairly, you go through Jarvis, loop around downtown in the reverse hilly KOM. Nothing crazy. But this is the interesting part. We can see here we have Kevin Burchard Hall, Adam Zimmerman, Tyler Peace was signed up, was vegan cyclist. He didn't make it to the start line. Ryan Sample, David Kowalski, several high-end racers. I believe Adam Zimmerman is a multinational champion, and Kevin Burchard Hall has been on Team USA a few times. So we got some pretty stiff competition, and as you can see here, I'm showing you pictures of my left knee. I had a knee replacement at the date of this race. 375 days prior to this, I had a knee replacement. And you can see, I'm 40 years old, and what led to that was that those second pictures there, the second set of pictures, I actually had a muscle removed from my left leg when I was 16. I had a severe injury, and it was super devastating, injury at the time, recovery and all that. So in my left leg, there's only, I guess like 3 muscles in my quad, which I've dealt with for pain and everything. So this race, getting in it and being with the caliber of racers here, there's every single one of these racers is a top talent. I'm expecting on this to fully get just trounced. So this kind of comes into, I got the feather power up, and I know Jarvis, you have a little steep ramp here, and then before the banner, you've got that steep section, which we can see by red. So I'm saving my power up for this moment when it gets super hard at this banister, or this come up to this banner, because I know everyone's going to go hard. So as you can see, everyone had the same idea. We all use our feathers. And luckily, we got a big enough group here to where the draft kind of keeps us together. So my whole perspective is do what I got to do to stay with this group. I am not going to be capable of making any kind of move. I'm just kind of going to cover everything and stay with this pack. Now, there is 1 or 2 guys up off the front. I'm not too worried about them because either they are, as you'll see later, they're a little non-human, or we're going to catch them. One of the two. Because I know the reverse hilly KOM is going to be very spicy. And as we are rolling through here, it's after that Jarvis KOM right there. There's not too much going on coming out of the volcano right here, this little ramp. It does get stretched out, but it's nothing you're not expecting. It's kind of your standard couple guys go, but there's enough draft within the pack. And I got to put some power down to make sure I don't get separated. But as you can see, it all comes back together real quickly. The whole group's together. And now I'm going to slow it down here once we get out of the volcano, because this little section, little piece, sometimes people can get dropped, or if 2 or 3 get off the front that do have a lot of power, things can happen. So I can see the yellow jersey. I know that's Kevin Burchard Hall. And I see Adam Zimmerman in the Project Echelon kit. He comes by me, and I'm like, all right, if he's going, I'm going to go. Now, it may not actually go anywhere, but if it does, I have to be in that little group. And ultimately, I don't hit it hard enough to separate. Matt Wheeler there, he did a little dig to come through, but we didn't really break any rubber band of draft. So it all just kind of come back smoothly, but that's sometimes what you got to do. Maybe you don't want to do, breakaway, but you just want to get across to it. And as you come across, sometimes it will bring everyone else. And it really wasn't much of an attack, but there was some separation. So you just had to keep that, keep your eye on it, make sure it didn't go anywhere. and we're going to come through the S's, and I'm going to slow it down again, and I'm going to kind of show you a good example of how to use the momentum in your power. I don't actually even go orange numbers on this. You can see I'm kind of at the back doing nothing in here. I hit it, I get up. Oh, I do hit an orange. Lied to you, but still I'm at 7, 6.5, 7. Now here, look at everyone. They see me going, and boom, look at all the orange numbers. Everyone's hitting orange because they waited until midway through to react. Now this, obviously everyone here is a top talent, but this applies in your the bottom group, the middle group, every single race you're in. That same strategy will work. It doesn't matter your power. If you kind of hit it a little beforehand, you're going to have speed going up that hill, and you won't have to react. You can keep kind of the same steady power and not surge, and save half a match, because you're going to burn a little bit hitting the power there, but you're not going to be lighting a full match. So mentally, right now at this point, I'm like, okay, I know coming up to the reverse hilly KOM, this is where I'm going to get dropped. And I didn't get a good power up here. I got the arrow. So my whole thought process is, the best place to use the arrow power up is going to be once I get past the aliens, once it flattens out a little bit, to hopefully be able to bridge whatever wheels in front of me to get across or just help get that gap. As we are approaching it, maybe as we're approaching this here, maybe I'm kind of forgetting, or they added some bushes, but I know there used to be what seemed to be a more of a gap between this bush and this rock, and there was one bush, this bush right here. Maybe I just kind of forgot, but that bush is actually where it starts ramping up. A lot of people you see start ramping up back by Hank's garage or Hank's gas station, but right there, that's where it actually starts ramping up. So I see some people going early. Now here, this is the whole entire mindset is everything you got, because if you don't make it up this, you aren't making it to the finish. So I popped the arrow boost. I did go a little early here because it's still like 8-9% or so. It's still pretty steep. I should have went about right here, but regardless, as you can see, it kind of all comes back together. But that was a full tilt. That's basically my sprint to stay on that. And here we are. This little bump, you got the guy in the orange up front from Brazil doing some steady power, and then we just kind of roll on with him, get back to things. I do end up setting a personal record on this. I forget the exact time. I'll put a screenshot there, but I set a personal record on this coming across this. All the races and everything before, this was the fastest I've ever done it, according to Strava, which I was super impressed with. The overall, looking back on it, I felt it was kind of chill, but apparently the big climb coming up it and this kind of the steady efforts once just to hang on the wheels, it really meant a lot. So those guys off the front, this is the biggest problem with Zwift. To change gears real quick, this is the biggest problem. Someone who's 60 plus doing 570 watts for 20 minutes, there's 100 reasons that could happen. Is it believable? No. That's the biggest problem within community racing within Zwift. Like, that should be flagged. There's only one person that I'm aware of, Hayden Pucker, that has any power close to that. And there may be others, but just that I know of, at least, that's verified that has that kind of power. So that is the biggest issue. And, that guy, yeah, he was just in this race. There was actually 2 of them in this race. So I'm actually kind of thankful that this group didn't chase them, that they could let him go. So that was very positive. But that's the biggest problem. A lot of guys don't understand what 400 watts is. So they think, they hop on the trainer, whatever it is, and they're crushing. They just think that's normal. So that is something that Zwift really does need to address going forward. So at this point, my whole mindset is like, I cannot believe I just came over the hilly KOM with this. And I'm going to slow it down just a touch early to kind of show you the finish, because you could see people ramping up here and getting a little stretched. The biggest thing is it's hard to do, but you got to remain calm. You got to kind of keep in the wheels. Like this area, you know, third or fourth back is a decent spot to be, because you don't want big gaps opening up, but you still want to stay in that draft. You still want to keep in contact, and you don't want to go super early. Now this finish I've never done, so we're 1K away. I'm really trying to pay attention to that. I did see someone else doing this finish earlier today. I was watching someone stream, so I had a loose idea of the distance. But this is my first time sprinting on it, so like I really didn't know my exact spot to attack, because a lot of the sprint points in the game I kind of just understand just from racing so much. Once I get to this bridge or this bush or whatever, I need to go. So overall, I'm in a good spot for the draft. We are cruising at 48 kilometers an hour, and I'm doing some power, but I'm not like overexerting. And right here in a second, it's maybe one of my best sprints in a long time. I'm super excited with this result. So here we go. Coming to the line, and like I'm just ecstatic at this moment of even being close to the finish with these guys. Look at that. Unbelievable that I came to the finish with that. Adam Zimmerman, he actually has the Strava, or had at the time of this, had the Strava KOM for that sprint. So we were flying on this, and this is just blew my mind that I was able to come to the finish with the caliber of these racers. So I'm super excited. Cannot believe that 375 days for my knee replacement, I was able to ride and hang on and be there to finish with the caliber of these racers, because there's, you know, black dot riders, extremely talented individuals, and I was right there with them. So super excited. And my reaction on stream, like I was going to include it, but it was just I was so out of breath, and like it was like 45 seconds for me to say anything. I was just so out of breath. I did hit a what was it, a 15-second PR set for, I think it was this entire year, and even going back to before my knee surgery, my knee replacement. Super excited. It was what, 1,000 watts or so for 15 seconds, or just under, which I don't know when the last time I did that. But the knee replacement has been phenomenal, and it's truly made all the difference in the world, not just with cycling, but just within my entire life. So if anyone out there looking to have a knee replacement and kind of worried about the cycling aspect, don't hesitate, get it. So it's a super exciting race for me personally, coming from, you know, in January doing 50 watts for 15 minutes and struggling, to exceeding anything I've done even before surgery. Like I'm hitting new power PRs and everything total. So it's phenomenal. Like this is a very, very, I guess, proud moment for me after the recovery of the knee replacement, and just to be with these people, because I basically grew up within Zwift watching them, and it was really neat to be there to finish. But hopefully you guys enjoy this. This race, just random race on a Tuesday or Monday or whatever it was, actually meant a whole lot to me personally through the recovery of that knee replacement, and I might be able to take a step forward from where I previously had never thought I could. But all right, guys, I really appreciate it. We'll see you.